If you have pulled a gooseneck, utility trailer, cargo trailer, any type of gooseneck trailer, and or a fifth wheel, any miles down the road, you've probably experienced some rough conditions on the roadways, creating some bucking, some rough riding, make your car sick, just a rough time. There's only a few things you can do about that. Sometimes you can adjust your load to get it just right to alleviate the bucking, but many times you have to do something with the coupler. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're hopefully going to show you something that you may or may not be aware of, and hopefully give you some information and help you decide if there's a way that you can get rid of some of that bucking. If you're on a concrete road going down, you can feel every joint and it will honestly just beat you to death. If you've ever driven I-35 in between Texas and Oklahoma City, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've driven that road, leave us a comment. What we have here is a 30K standard run-of-the-mill gooseneck coupler. It's on a PJ dump trailer. Nothing special about this coupler. Find it on any gooseneck. And there's nothing wrong with this coupler. What comes into play is when you have rough road conditions and it starts bucking and it starts giving you fits, there's only so much you can do about it. What it can cause though, it can cause some fatigue within the coupler. Your first signs of fatigue will usually be in the retainer pin location and or the set screws. This is a 30K, so it has twin set screws. A lot of your 25Ks will only have one set screw, but these will come loose. That is something, if you decide to stay this route, you need to check this on a regular basis, make sure that they're tight. But it can cause some wear. A lot of times we'll see the pin actually worn all the way through, some cracking, then you'll get cracking around the gusset, you'll get cracking around the actual collar and the web of the I-beam. If it goes long enough, and if you pull maybe every day, if you pull professionally, maybe you're a hot shotter, you will also see some cracking towards the back at the gusset location where the neck meets the riser, and then where the riser meets the front mount of the trailer. We see cracking in all those areas. Many times we have to do a repair. We have to fish plate some metal on there to make it safe and to make it where you don't get hammered by the DOT. So we're going to show you a solution today that may or may not be in your budget, but I think it's worth looking into, doing your own homework to see if it's something that will help you with that, give you a better ride, a little better peace of mind, and maybe extend the life of your coupler. So all you have to do to install it is take the old one out. That was pretty simple. We've already pre-loosened all of the set screws on this. We're going to slip the coupler out, get it out of the way, and then I'm going to grab the new one. It's a little bit heavy, so if you decide to go this route, you are going to need a second set of hands to help you put it in there to get it adjusted, get it tightened up. So I'm going to set this down and we're going to go grab the new coupler. So that's really it. Now after you get in here, you need to check your ride height. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the coupler itself, what it does, how it works, and kind of how long this product's been around. So let's jump right into that. So we have replaced the factory coupler with the Shocker hitch. I will say this is not a sponsored video by Shocker. They did not send this to us. This is a paid for out of our own pocket. The reason I'm talking about the Shocker hitch today is just because I have personal experience with it. I've seen a bunch of them out in the field in the gooseneck application and in the bumper pull hitches as well. And we'll talk about those in a little bit. And also the fifth wheel travel trailer industry. We have these on commercial hotshot units, professional drivers, and then just your full-time RVers. And they make a lot of different applications. So that is important. If you decide to go this route, whether you go through one of our links that we'll leave in the description below, or if you go into a store, make sure you get the right hitch for the application because they're not all universal. Some of them are very specific to whatever trailer that you're going to put it on. What I like about the Shocker hitch is they've been around a while. This is not a new product. This is a tried and true product, and it's just good quality. It's got grease zerks on some of the pivot point locations, and what makes it work is the airbag on the back. It has no air in it right now. If you buy this, it will give you instruction on how to pre-fill this, how to test drive it, and then to make your adjustments. It comes with very good detailed instructions, installation instructions. And what this does, it will take the bucking and the jarring out of the trailer. Maybe not 100%, but I guarantee if you're currently experiencing bucking and jarring, you're gonna notice a big difference on that. Whether you're pulling a 40-foot hotshot deck over, your bumper pull, or your gooseneck dump trailer, or a fifth wheel RV, you will notice a difference. There may be some other brands out there that you're more familiar with. Leave us those in the comments so we can all work together, so we can, you know, that's what I hope our comments help provide, and our viewers, they look at all of our comments and that we can take positive feedback from that and we can all learn together. I learn stuff from y'all's comments. If you leave your negative Nelly comments, we learn from those too, but just give us some feedback on that if you're familiar with this, or maybe what brand that you prefer. So this product is made in the USA, so I know some of y'all will like that. What I like most about the shocker hitch is that it's been around, it's tested, I've seen it in the field, had my own hands on it. I've used one, I've sold them, I've installed them, and they just hold up, and they have a lot of applications. They have this for the gooseneck treaders, they have this also for bumper pull applications, and then they have it for fifth wheel applications. Back in the old days, a lot of guys started switching their fifth wheel application to a gooseneck coupler so that they didn't have to put a fifth wheel hitch in when they're, you know, getting rid of maybe their stock unit and go into stock treader unit and go into a fifth wheel. The problem with all those older and even some of the modern gooseneck couplers, when you convert that from a kingpin down to a gooseneck, they're super rigid. Convertible makes one that does have a shock absorber built in it. It does a pretty good job, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a fan of kingpin to gooseneck. The only way I'm a fan of kingpin to gooseneck, if you're not pulling on a regular basis. Maybe you pull occasionally, maybe you're just going to your local state park, something like that, not a ton of miles, they'll work just fine, but they're super rigid. But if you are going to convert from a kingpin to a gooseneck ball, at least put a shocker hitch or something comparable to that that is going to take that bucking, because it will make that bucking and that stress on your kingpin box on your travel trailer, it's going to create some issues and you will know it's back there. So they do make this from a kingpin down to a gooseneck ball in the shocker application that will work. It will work just fine. So if you're going to do that, I highly recommend the shocker hitch. What I prefer is sticking with a fifth wheel in your truck, on your trailer, but even some of those, they buck. It depends on how much weight you have in your trailer and the road conditions. Again, it really just gets down to the road conditions, and depending on what state you're in, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But shocker does make a full box replacement for your fifth wheel hitch on the travel trailer itself that has this same system integrated in that to give it some cushioning and to take that bucking away. I cannot stand the bucking. I don't get car sick, but after a while, you know, I'm going to get out and try to move my load around, but if you have a heavy load on there, there's no way to do that on the side of the highway. You're going to need something that's like this. So this is what I'm going to recommend for the bumper pull applications. And again, we'll leave all these products in the description below. We'll leave a link to that. Just check your application. The bumper pull, if you're hauling a heavy bumper pull, they make some great hitches for that. I'm a fan of some of the adjustable couplers. While I like those, they're loud, they're rattly, they bang up and down. The shocker hitch takes the majority, if not in some cases all of that out of there. So I highly recommend those as well, so check those out. Really what it boils down to, if it's an investment that you're either willing to make or that you can afford. Like we say in the videos all the time, we try to give you multiple different parts to fit your budget. You may find something cheaper out there on the market than this, but this is the only one I'm going to feature today just because I know about the product. I can say that it works, but it is an investment. These are not cheap. They don't give them away. But if you're pulling as a hot shotter, if you're pulling as a daily driver, or if you're a full-time RVer, I think, in my opinion, it would be worth the investment. After you tried one, you will know the difference, you will feel the difference, and it's just gonna lessen the wear on your ball in your truck, which it can cause some wear on that, whether you're using a factory gooseneck or if you're using a aftermarket gooseneck and or a fifth wheel setup. Anything you can do, whether it be from the coupler to the tail of the trailer to better your ride, to stabilize your ride, is going to be money well spent, because you're going to have less wear parts and less fatigue, and you're going to extend the life of the unit you're towing. So again, not sponsored by Shocker Hitch, not looking to be sponsored, just telling you I know this product, it works good, I highly recommend it. Do your homework. Hopefully we'll have some customers, or hopefully we'll have some viewers read our comments, put some comments on there. We can work together as a community in that to give you some feedback on that, to see if this is something that would benefit you in your towing needs. Click to subscribe, leave us a thumbs up, continue to leave those comments, and be sure to click and check the description below for the links that we're going to provide for this in case you decide after doing your homework if this is the right fit for you. And we will see you on the next one.